3. It's targeting people with ties to Scott Air Force Base in the Metro East. The DAV and the group Recruit Military are co-sponsoring. They invite veterans and military spouses to attend. Regional and national firms will be looking to hire people to fill skilled positions.
Times of sun and clouds, but cold this afternoon, high 32. Clear to partly cloudy and cold tonight, low 18. For tomorrow, more clouds and sun, high 40. Friday, mostly sunny and becoming breezy in the afternoon, high 47. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, we have a mostly cloudy sky, 29 degrees downtown at the Arch. Weather sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. It's 12:04. The Gashouse Gang is next.
This is the Gashouse Gang on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer.
And by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis and Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
Now, the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Good to be with you with Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. Hello, Gashouse Gang family. How's everybody?
Are we the Gashouse Gang? Or are we the Gashouse people and everybody listening is the gang?
That's great. The Gashouse Gang is the early Cardinals world champions, and we're named after them.
We
All
are?
of us. I mean, listeners, us, producers.
The whole thing is a gang.
Steve Moore, who created the name and the concept. Everybody is the Gashouse Gang. It's a great question by you.
So
the
we're
guests
all
are the Gashouse Gang. Like, I think
Yeah,
Chaim
yeah.
Bloom.
You think he's part of the Gashouse Gang?
I think he is. Ollie's part of the
Ollie's
Gashouse Gang
definitely.
for sure. I think Chaim is becoming part of the Gashouse Gang. You notice that as soon as news hit, he came to us, made sure after the press conference that he gave us the time yesterday or the day before that. The TV deal came out, Anook Karuna-Rotney. So what I'm telling you is the Cardinals are part of the Gashouse Gang. I think they understand that the show is an extension of what they're trying to get out in terms of information. They know they're going to be asked the right questions, and it's a good hour of programming. I'm just happy to be part of it, man.
It's fun, isn't it?
Isn't it, though?
Yeah.
Today, we will talk baseball. I mean, there's a lot to kind of still discuss after yesterday, but we are going to dive into what is a big day on the sports calendar with the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame enshrinement tonight, and two of the recipients will be with us. Layla Anderson. We're going to catch up with her in about 10 minutes. She's going to check in from school. And then Dan Rolfus, who I think is also going to check in from school. He is the head coach at Incarnate Word and a very successful one. Both of them have been through significant health issues in their lives. Both of them have made a huge impact on St. Louis sports, and that's what this is all about. It's not just what you do on the field. It's what you do to impact the St. Louis community. And I would say every single one of these people on this list have done just that. So that's exciting.
Yeah. Todd Worrell's going in, Pat Maroon. We talked to Bob Ramsey once a week. Hey, speaking of Rammer, again, these Billikens, dude.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I want to lead with them. And by the way, we love your comments on YouTube. If you can, Amy wants to know when Ollie will be back on. I would imagine at the start of the baseball season, that first Tuesday of the baseball season is what we're planning to have Ollie. But I will tease this. We have a couple of other special guests that we are reaching out to perhaps make weekly commitments as well. So I'm just going to leave it out there. And if we can get those locked up, we will let you know who they are. Anyway, back to the Billikens. The Billikens are something special. And last night they did it again, Chris. I said that last week, as good as the Dayton win was, the one that impressed me was the GW game because they were not playing very well. They got absolutely hammered in the first half. They're down by 15, and they come roaring back and they win the game. But that was at home. Last night, they're down 13 in the first half on the road at Davidson. You know these schools see SLU and all the attention, and you get that little number by your name. And when you're ranked, you're a target. And you know they were loving it. Davidson played the best game they could have played. They played an almost perfect half. They really did. And they're up by 13, but the Billikens closed within 5 before half, knocking down some crazy threes like they do. And then they just make the adjustments defensively and overwhelm this Davidson team in the second half and win it by 9. And, Chris, they do it with illnesses. Robbie's not 100%, you could tell. They do it with all these people patting them on the back all last week and all the emotions of being successful. They showed me something again last night. Facing a double-digit deficit on the road, which they hadn't all year, they come back and win a ball game.
Brady Dunlap had that illness too, and then he comes back and he hits all six of his threes in that one. So, I mean, this is I feel like it's gotten repetitive at this point, but it's fun to celebrate it and talk about it because they have won games every possible way, right? Yeah. They've blown teams out. They've blown out multiple teams. And I know that people are criticizing their non-conference schedule, but they put up 31 on Dayton. I mean, they won by 31 against Dayton. That's a good program. They come from behind, which you can't afford to do long-term. You're going to have a couple of those games, and they've already had a couple. You got to make sure you don't have more of those because you're not always going to be able to come back and win those. But they have done that. They have had good, solid, all-round defensive and offensive wins. They have done it every possible way. So to me, that's the mark of a good team. That even if they're not their best, and I know we said this after that George Washington game, if they're not their best, they still find ways to win. Still find ways to get it done. And that is, when you're talking about a good team in any sport, teams that can find a way to push it across even when they just don't have it on a given night, there you go.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if you look at if you know basketball and you look at the team, you know this team is a tough matchup for somebody in the NCAA tournament. And it's funny, the criticism that they might get, which is starting to fade away a little bit, but they might get for having a softer schedule. Well, where were you all when they asked you to play them then? I mean, nobody will play them.
Right.
And then the same teams that won't return their calls are the ones that are saying, no, we should be in above them because they have a soft schedule. Well, if you're so good, well, why don't you play them? And at the same time, if Josh Schertz is just getting away with a soft schedule, and how come everybody wants him to coach their team now? I mean, all I see is that he's going to be the top candidate for every job in America. I'm exaggerating, but his name is being thrown around like crazy. No problem, And
I get why teams do it. I get why they don't play. I get why Mizzou doesn't want to play him or Illinois doesn't really want to play them because those teams are expected to win. There's nothing in it for them because if they don't win the games, it is a knock against them. If they do win, then it was like, well, yeah, you're supposed to anyway. So there's no value in it for them. And that's fine. You can hide behind that, but you can't have both. You can't say, well, they haven't played anybody, but also, yeah, we're not going to play them. You cannot give me both.
No, you can't.
You pick one.
And it's also creating a lot of drama for these games, I think, because Davidson, while they are solid, I don't want to take anything away from them, but if you lose that game last night,
so
people will start saying, see, and it is going to hurt you for an at-large. It creates a lot of drama. I'm watching that game. They go down by 13. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
And here they come. And they start to do what they do, and they win the game. It makes it a lot of fun, both TV, radio, and just following along on a daily basis. And now they come home and they play LaSalle on a Saturday afternoon, and they will treat LaSalle like they are Duke. They're going to go at them.
Very glad you said that about these games. And again, as I've said before, I'm a fan of a mid-major team. And that's what it was like for us when ISU was really good, that every game felt like the biggest game of their lives because you can't afford losses. You just can't. If you're Illinois, you drop a game, no big deal. You're still going to end up being a tournament team with a high seed, unless you're worried about not being a number one seed overall or a number one seed. That I understand. But there is something about being a fan of a team that's on the level of SLU or Dayton or any of these other programs where every game is massive, and those teams, they feel like they have no breathing room whatsoever. You cannot lose because that will hurt you when it comes tournament selection time.
It's a great basketball team. They're 22-1, 10-0 in the Atlantic 10. They've won 16 in a row. They're ranked 19th in the country. They play Saturday afternoon, and we can't wait for it. It is an absolute blast. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Layla Anderson, a big part of the Blues Stanley Cup run. And she is doing great today. We'll discuss things with her. She's going to go into of course she's doing great. She's going to the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame tonight.
Let's go.
Back after this on the Gashouse Gang on KMOX. We're sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, and Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
official sports book of KMOX, and it's last call for football all week long, and FanDuel is giving you a daily profit boost every single day leading up to the big game. So today's 30% profit boost is on the receiving markets. So receiving yards over under, alt receiving yards, most receiving yards, a lot of choices there. So JSN of Seattle is really high on the total right now of 93.5 receiving yards. But what if you took an alt line at 80 yards or more and then have the odds boosted? Well, all you have to do is opt in each day and place an eligible bet to use that day's profit boost. So whether you're locking in early lines, riding your favorite props, or taking one last swing before the final whistle, FanDuel's giving everyone something extra to cheer for during football's final week. So play your game with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Remember, must be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Still here, still trusted. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Welcome back to the Gashouse Gang with Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. It is a pleasure to bring in our next guest. Tonight is the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame enshrinement dinner at the Missouri Athletic Club. We have a couple of inductees joining us on the show today. In just a bit, we'll hear from Incarnate Word head coach Dan Rolfus. And right now, we're joined by Layla Anderson, and you know the name, especially if you've been connected with the Blues for the past, it's amazing to think it's been 7 years almost since they won the Stanley Cup. And Layla was, I would say, as popular a St. Louisan as anybody during that time, and joins us now on KMOX. Layla, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Thank you. We're doing great. Thanks for taking the time during school to join us. We're not going to keep you from your classes. We're going to be very quick and tidy. As a matter of fact, I am speaking to you for this first of two because I'm going to be emceeing the festivities tonight, and I understand that you and I are going to have a little chat on stage to start things off tonight. How about that?
That sounds awesome.
What does it mean to you to be inducted into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame? You were listed along with some of these great names, and it says Layla Anderson, Sports Inspiration.
Yeah, no, it's truly crazy. I'm just an average 17-year-old girl. You know, I'm a senior in high school, but it's crazy that I'm being represented and honored with so many incredible people. To be alongside Pat Maroon tonight, who not only has impacted my life so much, but has done so much for the St. Louis community and for the hockey world in general. It's just, it's honored is truly an understatement.
Yeah, and you're going in with some other greats too, like Rams great Mike Jones and, Bob Ramsey, who calls Billikens games for us here on KMOX. But to go alongside your good friend, Pat Maroon, that has to feel especially great.
Yeah, it's such a full circle moment. Pat was, and his whole family, Cheska and Anthony, they were so kind to me during the Cup run, and Pat has been incredible since, and just, I can't wait.
Layla, you were battling autoimmune disease back then. How is your health today?
Oh, my health, I'm like any other 17-year-old girl. I do get yearly testing just to make sure that everything's great, but I've been living life like I should have in the first place. It's awesome.
I was playing in Colton Parayko's golf tournament a few years ago, and I was at the tee box, and Colton was there, and I looked over, and there was a girl standing there, and I did a double take, and I'm like, Layla? I mean, it was just amazing to see how fast you would grow. I mean, these kids, I have two girls myself, how fast you all grow up. I wanted to ask you, because you couldn't go 2 steps in St. Louis in 2019 without getting stopped, either interviewed or people wanted to take a picture with you. Do you get recognized still?
I do sometimes. It's usually at the Blues games. A lot of my jerseys say Layla 55, but then sometimes I'll bring out like the jean jacket I did for, I think it was like Hockey Fights Cancer Night. Sometimes when I pull out that jean jacket, I get a little recognized more than normal, but it's pretty cool.
So now that you're 17 and you've had some time to look back on that Stanley Cup run, and then you ended up being a pretty big part of it, does it feel like, I mean, are you able to remember a lot of that stuff, first of all, and how does it feel to look back on all those things?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. That was a big chunk of my life, being sick, and then, honestly, like hitting rock bottom and peaking all in a matter of 3 years was insane. But I do remember a lot of it. I remember a lot of being in Boston and that whole 24-hour ride that my mom and I went on, and then the celebration and stuff after. But the incredible part of all of that is the relationships I gained with not only NHL players, but people in the broader NHL community. Those relationships were not just for cameras. I have so many incredible people guiding me today. Like, for example, Colton Parayko. I'm going to college for communications, and I really want to work in nonprofit. I truly feel that hard times make strong people, and that I need to turn this negative situation that happened to me into something positive. And, Colton has been such an incredible inspiration for almost how to do that. You did mention his golf tournament, but his organization, Project 55, being able to see all the work that he does to take kids who are honestly in such hard situations and give them magical experiences, seeing how he kind of does that has really impacted my heart and almost guided me into what I want to do with my future.
Layla, last thing, and then we're going to get you back to class, but we really appreciate this.
Maybe she doesn't want us to let her get back to class.
Maybe she doesn't. Maybe we should write her a note, get her out of there.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Layla, last thing is that, I don't know if you realized it at the time, but I'm sure you've allowed yourself to think about it now. How many people you may have impacted or inspired through your high school years here, and going back to that year that you perhaps have put a lot of energy in a lot of people that were in your situation or similar.
Yeah, it's just, I think I'm honored more than anything to not only have a platform and a position to share my story, but to also give the voice to those who can't share theirs. I am only one of so many kids who have stepped inside St. Louis Children's Hospital, and I want to almost represent us. There are so many kids who are sitting in the same chair that I was receiving chemotherapy, or even being in my same isolation room. They don't necessarily get to share their story, but I feel honored, grateful, and blessed to be able to share our story. I think tonight and every night, it's not just about me. It's about all of the people who have given me what I needed to be in the position I am today, and to be able to turn my negative situation into something positive and hopefully affect the community.
Layla Anderson, can't wait to see you tonight at the Missouri Athletic Club at the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame enshrinement. What a great honor and well-deserved. Thanks for coming on KMOX to talk about it a little bit today.
Thank you for having me.
Great to visit with her. She's fantastic.
And such a huge part of that run. That must feel really great to go back and think about those times. Because like she said, I mean, she was at the bottom and then, had a peak and all of that within a very short period of time. To be part of an historic run, first of all, an NHL historic run, because no team has ever really done what they did. But then, of course, to be the first championship for St. Louis and be an integral part of it where people remember you because of it. They were like, oh, yeah, I know you. Layla. St. Louisans will always remember her for being a part of that. And that's just very, very cool.
Very, very special. She's going to do some big, big things.
And I can't believe you being such a stickler, making her go back to class.
Now go back to class.
Yeah, go back to class, kid. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. Why don't you, maybe let her suck off
Chris,
a little bit longer.
Kids are in school to learn, and so we're just doing our part.
No, she's got senioritis, man.
Oh, well, that's a good point. It's because she's already in college. She's good to go.
You had senioritis.
Oh, yeah. We took a little time off senior year.
See.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk basketball. You know what? Before we do, let me run through a couple of these comments about SLU, because we talked about SLU here. I'm going to go a lot of them, so I just want to make sure we cycle through them again. Bo Nick's right ankle said Billikens are walking into Selection Sunday with a record the committee can't ignore. Well, if they run the table, certainly. I mean, they'll be 30-1. If they run the table in the regular season, and then they'd be 33-1 going into the select. You can't ignore them. Well, first of all, they'd have an automatic bid already. But if they were to have an L or two, I still think they're an at-large consideration. They've just been too good.
If they're a 30-win team, they have to be in.
I think they do. I mean,
30 is the new 20. You remember?
Yeah.
It used to be you get 20 wins and you get a bid, or it felt like that. And now I think you kind of have to win 30. I don't care about the non-conference schedule.
Mike says Shirts and Company are building a tradition. They play the right way, unselfish and complete. Absolutely right. Bo goes on to say a 30-win team forces the national conversation to shift from nice little mid-major to, they're actually a problem.
There you go.
Believe me, those coaches know they don't want to see him in there. If they show up as an 8 seed, I don't care who you are, Michigan, UConn, Duke, whoever the 1 seeds are, that's an issue. You're going to really have to bear down and get your players to understand what this team likes to do, which is hit you relentlessly with cuts. And if you collapse too much, they'll just go bombs away on you with threes. And by the way, they defend as well as anybody. Rockstar Journey says what SLU's doing is great, but their strength of schedule is ranked 245th. If they lose 2, 3, or 4 games, there could be problems. They can't afford to go on a losing streak. I agree with that too, and they know that. They are very well aware of that. If they lose games they're not supposed to, it's just going to knock them down at this point. But I don't know, man. I think aside from the game at George Mason and the VCU game here, both of those will be tough. SLU should be in very good shape, at least on paper, heading into every game.
So if they win out, but we're not counting the conference tournament. If they win out, they'll have 30 wins. Even if they get to 29, I don't know, man. 29-2, they'll be, let's say they get to the first round, their first round game in the A10 tournament, they lose it, so then they're 29-3. Yeah. It's still hard to ignore 29-3.
It is. It's just the problem is you get these bid stealers that come out and win conference tournaments like NC State a couple years ago, and then you're like, like Indiana State. They were an incredible team, and just it was really bad that they left that Indiana State team out. Really, really bad. MPK is absolutely correct. Layla Anderson is very well spoken, and she was a wonderful guest. Great job, Matt Pajeski, getting her. Let's talk FanDuel.
You want to?
Yes.
You got something you like?
I like the Seahawks.
You like the Seahawks?
Mm-hmm.
I do too. I think that's going to be a pretty good bet.
4.5?
It is still 4.5,
okay.
Yeah. But, it is last call for football. And this entire week leading up to the big game, FanDuel is giving you a daily profit boost. So today, the 30% profit boost is on the receiving markets. So that's receiving yards over under, alt receiving yards, most receiving yards, And so you've got all kinds of options there. For example, the total at the moment is 93.5 for JSN. Are you liking that? Because it's a little high. It was 96.5 for a minute, too. You can go over, under on that, and all you have to do is opt in each day and place an eligible bet to use that day's profit boost. So if you're trying to lock in one of these lines early on, like right now, or if you're going to ride with a favorite prop, FanDuel has a way for you to do that and gives you something a little extra to cheer for on game day. Play your game with FanDuel. It's an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60 and KMOX. Go to FanDuel.com/Missouri. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Mostly cloudy right now and a high of 30 degrees. We are at the high at the moment. Tonight, we'll have a low of 17.
Sponsored by Kalshi. Trade on anything. The big game is here, and now you can trade on football legally nationwide on Kalshi. Right now, New England is trading at 32% to beat Seattle. A $100 trade pays out $289. Use code FAN to get $20 when you trade 100. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
This is Harry Carey from the beautiful new Busch Memorial Stadium.
From moment to memory.
Cardinal football on the move.
Among those voices, Bob Hamilton.
When I was in high school, I decided I wanted to go to radio.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
At Graybar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Graybar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Graybar does that.
When you're injured on the job, you need more than just a workers' comp lawyer. When you need a fighter, you need us. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. For the people. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Now back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling.
And by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis and Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Back on the Gashouse Gang with Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. We just talked to Layla Anderson, and she was fantastic. She will lead the inductees tonight at the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame enshrinement dinner. And this gentleman will be on stage being interviewed as well as someone who has a daughter playing high school basketball and who has coached girls basketball 5th through 8th grade, and I miss it. I am in awe of this man. Dan Rolfus is the head coach at Incarnate Word. I mean, do they ever lose a game? It's absolutely incredible. His credentials are off the charts. He has been one of the most successful coaches we have ever seen in this town. Head coach at Incarnate Word since 2000. They have captured a dozen state championships under his watch, 13 state championships in total, and at one point they won 124 consecutive games, most successive wins in Missouri girls high school basketball history. I could go on and on, Dan, but that is just the tip of the iceberg when you talk about your credentials. Welcome back to KMOX.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I mean, when you hear all of that, and I know people talk glowingly about your success, I am pretty sure that you would say it is a product of the players and the people that have been around this team, and it has been a remarkable machine for many years.
Yeah, no. Obviously, I'm fortunate to work with a very high caliber player and great girls that buy in, great families. The coaches make every day fun, and I've got some a former player coaching with me now, which is always fun, and a couple other guys that have been with me for years. So I'm lucky I've been there. This is my 26th year, so our culture is set. The expectations of winning are there, and we get kids that buy in. So I'm in a good spot. I feel really fortunate.
How much of getting those kids to buy in is your method versus the success that you've had? And they're clearly tied in with one another. But do kids automatically see, hey, they've won? This guy has won before. So we've got to listen. We've got to buy into whatever it is that he's teaching.
It's not as much me as it is our players. I can say whatever I want. If I don't have buy-in from our players, it doesn't matter what I say. So we just have some incredible leaders at the top. Our juniors and seniors. They've been through the process. They know what we do. They know the expectations, and our younger players follow suit. Prime example is we have several seniors who come in at 6:30 to get shots up almost every single day, and at the beginning of the year they're the only ones in there, and it takes 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden I see 2 freshmen in there, and maybe a sophomore in there, and pretty soon the gym's packed at 6 or 6:30 just trying to get shots up. So the seniors and the upperclassmen are definitely the leaders, and they actually set the culture.
Dan, I see that you beat Burroughs. Was it yesterday? 75-30. Is that right?
That is correct.
My goodness, Burroughs can play, man.
Yeah.
They have. Looking through the scores, and I need to get back to see your teams in person. But basketball is a sport where anything can happen. The bounce of a ball, step on a line, somebody gets hurt, somebody gets in foul trouble. My read on you is that you leave nothing to chance. You are as prepared as anybody in any sport in this town. You will watch video endlessly. In fact, I've become, as you know, through the years as an alum of Indiana, I'm a huge fan of IU football and Curt Cignetti and what he accomplished. That's his MO. He will make sure that his team is going to be as prepared as humanly possible before they hit the field, and in your case, hit the floor.
Yeah, no, we definitely try to prepare for our opponents as best we can. And we try to be very, very consistent. And that's why I think we had the long winning streak. We approach every game the exact same, whether it's the very first game of the year, whether it's a game where we're going to win by a lot, or it's the state championship game. We prepare the exact same. So, we watch film, show the girls film, have a scouting report. We got our walkthrough, and everything is very consistent on what we do. Game days, we walk through and prepare. So I think just keeping everything consistent is important. Girls know what to expect. I know what to expect. And a lot of times, the film and the walkthrough helps me as much as it helps the girls. So, we just, try, like you said, we just try to do everything we can to be prepared. And, I don't like surprises. So we want to be prepared for whatever, a team throws at us.
Dan, part of your remarkable life here, which includes being in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame and soon to be in the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame, is a pretty devastating heart attack from a couple of years ago. And you were saved by CPR and some quick actions of people who were with you at the time. And, I know you said you don't remember the incident itself, but what about it has affected you since?
Yeah, no, definitely a challenging time in my life and in my family's life. My wife is actually the one who performed CPR and essentially saved my life.
Your daughter was there too, right?
My daughter was there. Yes, just we're just getting done and in the semifinal game up at Mizzou, and walking. I told my wife I wasn't feeling well. Walked out and had a heart attack in the parking lot, and with my wife and daughter, they were getting ready to take me to the hospital. So, my wife performed CPR, got me going. Thank goodness I was very close, almost in the same parking lot as Mizzou Hospital, and I was able to get there and had tremendous care up at Mizzou Hospital. From that whole experience, just taught me how fragile life can be, and just don't take things for granted, and every day is a blessing, and basketball, besides my family, was a goal of mine to get back to. It was, when I got out of the hospital, I'd been in the hospital so long, and I couldn't even walk anymore. So, the physical therapy and all the physical stuff was the challenge. But I wanted to get back to coaching. It's my passion. It's what I love to do. I love the competitiveness. I love the relationship that I have with our players and their families, and the school at Incarnate Word has been so good to me. I really, really, from a mental standpoint, needed to get back to coaching. Otherwise, I think I'd be going stir crazy without it.
You spent about a month in the hospital, splitting time between the university hospital, as you mentioned, and then Barnes Jewish Hospital. What was that first meeting like back with your players when you came back? If I recall watching the video, you surprised them with a return.
I did. Very, very emotional. Obviously those players were with me at Mizzou and actually played in the state final game without me. And, I hated to see, or for our players to see me like that and have to go through that. And, I'm just unbelievably proud that, one, that they played the game, they won, they showed a lot of resilience. And, I think that's one of the best things about sports. And I think sports can teach you so many aspects of life and resilience, and how do you handle adversity. And, that was about as much adversity as you can have. And, they came through, and I was just so proud of them. And, I know they care about me. I care about them. And it was tough. It was really, really tough. And just, when I got the strength back, I wanted to surprise them and let them know I'm here and I'm okay. And then at that time, I wasn't going to be around much. I was still doing a lot of rehab and had a couple surgeries ahead, but I just really felt the need, for myself to go see them.
Not to mention what you personally went through and how that is, impossible to deal with nearly when it happens to you, but then for a young person to be around it, because when you're growing up, many of us are fortunate enough to not have to go through something like that with somebody close to us. So for those girls to have seen that must have been really, really difficult for them too, just like it was for you.
Yes, for sure. And that's what makes it even more difficult. My daughter having to see it and witness me, my wife, and then my coaches and the team. It was just obviously not what you want them to experience. And, I'm lucky. I'm glad the result was good, and I'm alive and I'm back coaching. Just super thankful that, I have so many people in the St. Louis community that have reached out, just saying they're praying for me, sent cards, sent books, sent gifts. Just the support in St. Louis was really, truly amazing. And I'm stopped all the time and told, Coach, so glad to see you back. We were praying for you. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate that and how many people have reached out.
Well, we appreciate you for joining us here today. We're very happy for you. I can't wait to see you tonight. It is sold out tonight, and it will be a very special night for you, I know. The St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame enshrinement dinner is tonight, Dan Rolfus, and we can't wait to see you honored.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it, too. It should be a fun night.
Thank you so much for the time today. Appreciate you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That is Dan Rolfus, head coach at Incarnate Word. What a story, what a coach.
It's a fantastic story, and there will be some really big names there tonight. We've gone over them, some of them. Pat Maroon, you've got Todd Worrell, Mike Jones, Rammer's going to be there. The DeWitts, the family, will be inducted. Layla, who we spoke to, Al Joyner. That's a good lineup tonight, Tom, and you get to be a part of it.
I get to MC
Good for
it.
you.
We'll get that thing rolling at about 6 o'clock tonight with dinner, and then the program at 7. It's going to be a great night at the MAC downtown. Chris and I will be back right after this to talk a little baseball. We got some things to discuss after yesterday's Brendan Donovan discussion. There's more to come.
And I got a question for you, Tom.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Is it baseball related, or you can't tell me?
No.
Okay.
But I can't tell you.
I'm excited. I love questions. Back after this, the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
A bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes. $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions. So it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me, 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
St. Louis, are you ready to go Hardy?
I woke up on the wrong side of the truck bed.
The country rock hitmaker behind Truck Bed. Wait in the truck and one beer. He's bringing his no-holds-barred live show to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater June 5th. With special guests Cameron Whitcomb and McCoy Moore. Hardy, live, loud, and unapologetic. One night only. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, KMOX.com/events. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com,
an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Built on a century. Focused on today. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Welcome back. It is the Gashouse Gang on KMOX. Man, I love shows like that where you can visit with two inspirational people. You can't pick. It just adds to the story. Just remarkable, really.
Well, you have inspired me, Tom.
Oh.
Before we get to the baseball talk,
okay.
I want to ask you this question because on the award-winning Chris and Amy show, we do a question of the week that we like to ask the listener and then have them participate in a Twitter poll.
All right.
And the question came from this. Super Bowl Sunday is this Sunday, and I'm asking you now because you're not here the rest of the week. I really think, and I feel this very strongly in my bones, that the Super Bowl should be on Saturday. There's just no good reason for it to be on Sunday. And you're inspiring me because you work on Monday mornings. Mm-hmm. You got to come in here really early. It's a pain in the ass for you to watch the Super Bowl and then get no sleep and then come in the next day. So, should the Super Bowl be played on Saturday? Should it be played the day before a holiday like President's Day, or should it be left alone?
Left alone.
Oh, come on, Tom.
Yeah, and I know where you're going. I know you guys want to move it and all this stuff. Dude, the game's at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's over at, 9 at the latest?
No, like 10 or 11. They have a million commercials.
No, it isn't.
The halftime is an hour.
It 4 hours. Let's say it's 4 hours at the most. So it's over at 9:30. I mean, come on. You're not watching Cardinals games in the middle of the week at 9:30, and I have to get up and get down here at 5 o'clock?
No, Sunday games are at noon or 1.
What I'm saying is, you on a weeknight. So on a Wednesday, the Blues play at 7. The game's over at 9:30. The Cardinals play at 7. The game's over at 9:30, 10 o'clock. What's the difference? I mean, stop being so, like, oh, woe is me. I had to eat and drink and watch a football game. Now I'm not going to go to work.
That's right.
Get up and get to work.
No, come on.
It's just a football game. Don't give me this.
Just a football game.
I ate too much chili and I drank beer. I mean,
yeah. That's exactly right. What do you mean, what's the big deal? You got to wake up early after all that.
We're going to move it all because people can't handle a little partying?
Well, it's not like you have to do a whole lot of stuff.
I mean, give me a break.
Tom, it's not
You didn't expect that, did you? You didn't think I was going to come at you like that.
No, I thought you were going to say, yeah, you know what? That really helped me out. It really helped me out. Wake up at 4 a.m. to get to work or whatever it is you get here.
I just love giving you surprises right back.
This is, I am beside myself.
That's truly how I feel. It's on Monday morning, I hear all this like, Rogers like, no traffic out there today. I guess everyone's still asleep after the Super Bowl. I'm like, what? See? I know, I understand the stakes of the game, but what's the difference between that and, going to a game? Like let's say you went to a playoff game on Sunday night for the Blues or the Cardinals, and then Monday morning you're not going to go to work?
Well, because you can't.
Don't you eat hot dogs and drink beer at the game?
There's nothing you could do about playoff schedule. We know when the Super Bowl is going to be every year. It's going to be on a Sunday. Yeah. We could just make it a Saturday.
Now, I could see that a little bit. That would be fun, but again, that's sort of taking. I don't like the break in tradition. It's a Sunday game. It's Super Bowl Sunday. That's what we call it. It's a great wrap up to the weekend. Now take your day off if you want Monday. You don't have to move the whole thing just because people can't handle.
I don't get days off.
Can't handle can't handle their beer and guacamole.
We're not allowed.
It's so tired.
Yes, exactly.
I'm
exhausted.
so tired from sitting on the couch and watching football.
It ain't the sitting that does it for you.
I know. I hear
it's the Budweiser.
Speaking of Budweiser, the Cardinals play in a stadium called Busch Stadium. You're going to have a big Budweiser sign out in right field. I will say this about the thin crowds at Busch Stadium. It was easy to get a beer. It was easy to go use the restroom and be back in my seat before the first pitch was thrown in the next inning. Mm-hmm. So my suggestion is if you want to go have a good time at the ballpark and see these young players grow, if that's your thing, but even if it isn't, it's easy to get around the ballpark. You could take your kids to the game and have a whole row to yourself. Just let your kids run around up and down the row.
You could bring a scooter in the ballpark right around if you want.
Have a good time. I mean, let's just have some fun with this game, with this season. I know I got you that you're upset because we're used to winning around here, and I can absolutely connect with that. But they're still going to play a season. Might not next year. They might not.
2027?
They might not play at the beginning of next year.
Well, yeah,
it might be a late start. So just enjoy ballpark. I'm not telling you how to spend your money. If you don't want to spend and your hard-earned money, you do whatever you want with the money. But if you're going down there, I hope that you go down there to have a good time, get a little sun, take in some ball. That's my hope for everybody. Now, let's get serious about this team. This team needs some experience. They do need to land a veteran who can show these position players what to do. There is not a lot of experience in this lineup, and I do think that's the next mission here. Heim pretty much told us that yesterday, right-handed hitting outfielder. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to be an infielder, but that would help also if that person could go into the infield and be versatile. I think they have the experienced guys on the pitching side, at least in the bullpen. Another one would be nice. They have a great staff of Descalzo and Jay and some of these other guys along with Ollie who can guide them the right way. But it's time for the baby birds to grow up and become veterans. And I'm talking about Gorman, Nootbaar, Walker. It's time. It's time for these guys to become big boy veterans and teach some of these younger players coming in how to be a major leaguer. Now, the star of the team is going to be J.J. Weatherholt. He will come in and have zero problem jumping right into this level of baseball, I don't think. And I think Mason Wynn will take another step forward. Everybody else, I want to see it.
Well,
I'll believe it when I see it.
You know, this is an interesting season for the Cardinals because they don't have anybody who's 30. No regulars, no starting pitching at this moment.
That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah. Everybody is, I think the oldest player is like 28 right now, which is crazy.
The rebuilding Redbirds. Come out and see them.
Yeah. Kyle Leahy at the moment is the oldest pitcher in the projected rotation, right? If he's going to be in the rotation, and he won't be 30 for another 3 months.
Yeah.
So this is a really young team, and I think some veteran presence could help. I don't know how you measure it, but I think it is good and valuable to have somebody who's been there, not just on the pitching staff, but in the lineup too.
We have Cobra says, I think the 14 watching right now is probably the KMOX staff. I don't think you're looking at the right stats, Pally. I got 437 watching right now on my screen and climbing. And by the way, the radio audience is through the roof.
Yeah,
on
most
this
people
show.
are listening on the radio or the Odyssey app. That's just, you can watch us on YouTube.
See, I put your comment in there. I even put the negative comments in.
That's right. Well, he can go to hell.
People.
That guy can go straight to hell. We'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here with Bernie tomorrow at noon.
I can't wait. I'll be listening. It is the Gashouse Gang on KMOX. Good show today.